A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Bhavani and I warmly welcome all of you to StudyIQ. I hope you all are doing good this morning. Today is Sunday and we don't have editorials or articles to go through, but I have a special topic for you guys. But let's have a positive start first. Work like you don't need the money. Love like you have never been heard, and dance like nobody's watching. What you can make of this statement? What I make of this statement is that success and failure are part and parcel of our life. The other thing is that, see, if you analyze any person's life, you will find that he or she might have enjoyed some successes as well as they might have gone through some failures as well. But one thing that is in our hand is to give everything that we have. May it be your dance, may it be your work, may it be your studies. Give everything that you have, and one thing that you will get out of it, may it be success or failure at the end of the day, but one thing that you will get at the end of the day is satisfaction. And this is one of the most important thing. Think about it. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ provides pen drive and tablet courses for various different exams. As you can see on your screen, we have covered many important exams, national level exams like SSC, bank exams, UPSC, optional courses, state level exams are covered by us as well. And all these pen drive and tablet courses are designed by best faculties of our country. So to find out more about it, check out StudyIQ.com. In case if you have any question or queries, you can give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. Now, if you are preparing for UPSC Prelims 2019, then our first test series will come out on 10th of July. So make sure you make the most out of this test series as well. It is available both in Hindi and English. Check out testseries.studyiq.com. With this, dear friends, if you want to get in touch with me, this is my Facebook page and this is my Twitter handle. I will share lecture PDF on both this social networking sites as well as our Telegram channel as well. And make sure you share this lecture with other people so that they can benefit out of it. And make sure you hit the like button if you genuinely believe that this analysis is helping you every day in your capacity building. Now, the special topic that I have for you guys is basically an interview was conducted of this person that you can see on your screen. His name is Mr. Julian Koo. He is Dean of School of Law of Hofstra University, that is in New York. And his interview was basically on this meeting that took place between North Korea and USA on 12th of June. A historic meeting took place in Singapore. Now, the question is, we find this terminology, historic meeting, how historic this meeting is, or why we find this term historic associated with this meeting that took place between North Korea or Mr. Trump and Mr. Kim Jong-un. First thing that we have to understand is that from last 70 years, almost 70 years, both these countries have essentially been in a state of suspended armed conflict. They are arch rivals, and this animosity has always been there between these two countries. And one of the reason is this Korean War that took place somewhere between 1950s and 53. At that point of time, USA supported South Korea and North Korea was supported by USSR. So since then, both these countries have been arch rival of each other. The other important thing about this meeting is that this is for the first time two serving leaders of these two countries have met each other face to face. The third important point is that this will change this atmosphere in relationship between these two countries. Apart from that, it will open hopefully doors of international platform for this country of North Korea. One thing that I would like to add here is that India and North Korea, we do have diplomatic relations with each other. I'm sure many of you will remember that junior Minister of External Affairs, that is V.K. Singh, right? He visited North Korea before this 12th June meeting, and North Korea assured India that it will not do anything that will impact India negatively. This was assured by North Korea to India during this visit of VK Singh to North Korea. North Korea's embassy is there in New Delhi as well. So we do have a diplomatic relationship with North Korea, but apart from that, this meeting hopefully will open doors of international platform for North Korea. The other thing is, if you go back in 2017, right, since Mr. Trump came in, and particularly in first half of before this meeting, right, first 3-4 months of 2018, we find that there were high chances that an armed conflict was supposed to take place. God forbid this sort of things. But it's not just a normal armed conflict that we are talking about. It was more like a sort of nuclear war was going to take place in East Asia or this part of the world. But this meeting has basically, avoided this thing. So, of course, indeed, this is a historic meeting that took place. Now, let's see what are the positive outcomes, or if there are any positive outcomes for any parties, or whether this meeting was negative. Let's try to have a sort of overall understanding, because this type of questions you find in your mains examination. Now, when I say mains examination, make sure that mains examination is divided into two parts. One is your descriptive answer writing exam, and interview as well is part of your mains examination. So you may find questions on this sort of topics. So first thing is that the meeting, right, the sad part or the negative part is that we have not got any sort of specific details, to the point discussions or to the point agreements have not been decided in this meeting. It has been said that subsequent negotiations will take place. Many future meetings will take place between both these parties, right, North Korea and USA, and all these pending issues will be ironed out in these future meetings. The other thing is, we don't know at present whether all those things that have been said, all these beautiful words that have been said in this meeting, this will last or not. We are not sure about it. The other thing is, if you go through this joint document, then you find that it is, or the phrases that are used in this joint document are more generic, or are they are highly, you find this highly general language rather than to the point specific thing. As far as this denuclearization of Korean Peninsula is concerned, North Korea has said, of course, that it is committed to denuclearize this Korean Peninsula. This is point number one. Point number two is that USA has always demanded that as far as this denuclearization is concerned, it should be complete, it should be verifiable, and it should be irreversible in nature. Now, the big question is, when these two countries are agreeing on this thing, or when they are presenting their own demand, are they on the same page? We don't have any sort of clarity as far as these 2 points or point of views are concerned. One thing that we have to keep in mind, when I say we, I mean to say USA as well as a world community, India and world community, all these three parties, we have to keep this thing in mind that if we go back in history, somewhere around 2005 or earlier on, North Korea was part of this NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty. But it started proliferating its nuclear weapons, and it rejected this NPT. Then it assured that it is going to rejoin this NPT, but it has not. So you cannot thoroughly rely on North Korea, because we have some past experiences to keep in our mind. Moving on to another item of the same thing, or another angle, right? As far as this, getting rid of this war games that used to take place between, or a joint exercise that used to take place between South Korea and USA to make sure that they are prepared just in case if anything goes wrong. This has been dropped by Mr. Trump. Now, if you ask Mr. Koo, he says that he's not too sure about this thing, but he says that this is a bad idea because North Korea has termed this exercise as an offensive and provocative exercise rather than a defensive exercise that was always termed by these two parties, SK and USA. They termed it a sort of defensive exercise, but when you are dropping this exercise, you are not directly but indirectly agreeing with North Korea that it was an offensive as well as provocative exercise. So it gives, it puts or adds weight to this statement or stand of North Korea. So this is a negative outcome. The other thing is, this question is there in the mind of international community, that what chances are there that Mr. Trump will follow his commitment, or whether this agreement will be backed by Mr. Trump all the time. Right, you never know, because we have this Iran nuclear deal as well. This was rejected by Mr. Trump. Now, Mr. Koo is saying that, of course, because Mr. Trump has invested huge amount of energy and time and other resources behind this meeting, and he was personally involved in this meeting, so there are high chances that he will stick to what he has said. One thing that we can do to assure or reassure North Korea is senatorial approval can be given to this agreement. That means 2/3 of USA's Senate can give this approval, and this will give a sort of, you can say it will be a blood pact, if I may use this word. It will be a blood pact of USA, backed up by this USA's Senate. As far as this moral high ground is concerned, again a bit of negative outcome, because USA for last 70 years has termed North Korea as a rogue state, and this was one of the main reason, right? When it is saying or terming North Korea as a rogue state, it has always argued that North Korea has supported terrorism, it is spreading nuclear weapons to different parts of the world, chemical weapons are distributed, and you can say these formulas of these chemical weapons are distributed to different parts of the world by North Korea. It has always committed human rights atrocities on the people of North Korea. So all these reasons or all these points were supported or argued by USA as far as North Korea is concerned. But now when you are, and this was one of the main reasons I was talking about, that because of this thing, in last 70 years we haven't seen any sort of official meeting taking place between North Korea and USA, or the heads of these two countries. But now when you are going ahead with it, you are basically, dropping this rogue state. Indirectly, again, you are dropping this allegation on this country of North Korea. So overall, you can say that if there has been any victor of in this meeting, then it is North Korea. It's more favorable points for North Korea, but it could be a tactic as well to keep North Korea happy and make sure that we get what we are looking for. This could be one angle. The other thing is we want this analysis to go wrong. When I say this analysis, I mean to say all these negative points. We want in future to see that this meeting reaches its logical conclusion, that we don't want any war in the world. We don't want any countries threatening other countries with nuclear weapons. We want complete denuclearization of Korean Peninsula. We want North Korea to engage with other parts of the world or other countries, and it turns out to be a peaceful and progressive country. That's what we should aim for, the world community should aim for. And if we reach this thing, then all this skepticism that we have will prove wrong, and that's what we want, right? We want this analysis, all these things that are going on, to be wrong, and we want a peaceful world. Moving on to important news items now, dear friends. We have talked about Kaveri Water Authority. We have talked about this whole issue not once, but we have talked about it many a times in this English version of the Hindu analysis that is provided to you on regular basis. Now, Karnataka has decided that it is going to challenge this Kaveri Water Authority in Supreme Court, and let me take you very quickly to this timeline. In February 2016, Supreme Court delivered its historic verdict. It directed the central government to notify a Kaveri management scheme in 6 weeks' time. On March 28th, this central government said that it would need somewhere around 3 months. Tamil Nadu was not happy about this thing. It filed a petition saying that it is contempt of court. On 9th April, Supreme Court asks Centre to submit draft by May the 3rd. Now, on 14th May, Centre submits a draft scheme. 1st June, Centre notifies Kaveri Water Management Authority. 22nd June, Centre constitutes this Kaveri Water Management Authority and Kaveri Water Regulation Commission. I'm sure many new students would be wondering when was the last time we had a chat on this thing. Check out 17th Feb 2018's the Hindu News Analysis English. I have provided pictures of the whole timeline of this issue. You will also find out what this Kaveri Water Management Authority is all about and what this Kaveri Water Regulation Committee is all about. I will leave it on you guys. If you want to know more about it, check out this 17th February's Hindu Analysis. With this, dear friends, the interesting thing that we find is that all party meeting took place, and all party or all these different parties that you have, BJP and Congress and this JD, all these parties are on same page. They have agreed that they should knock the doors of this Supreme Court. One more thing that I would like to add here, that as far as this Interstate Water Disputes Act of 1956 is concerned, anything that is associated with this sort of interstate water dispute, it should be tabled and deliberated in the parliament, and this is one of the main reason why this Karnataka is knocking the doors of Supreme Court. Now we have to wait and watch. I'm sure we will find some editorials and articles on this issue. This is a very important, as well as it has been going on for a very long period of time as well. It will impact, of course, other water disputes in our country too. We get a news article, Sunday special, on today's Hindu, and it is about this Hindu Rohingya refugees are also waiting to go back to their homeland, that is this Rakhine state of Myanmar. Now let me again throw some light on this issue here, or this part of the world. This is Rakhine state, as you can see on your screen. It is part of this Burma or Myanmar, and then here you have this Cox's Bazar. Cox's Bazar is part of this Bangladesh. In between these two lands, right, you find a river called Naf River, very important river. You may find a question in next prelims or in next exams based on Naf River. One more question that we can form out of this area is that there is a port that is developed by China in this part of Rakhine state. Can you give me the name of this port? It is a very important, strategically important port, deep sea water port, so it's important for China, and they are going to connect this port with this part of China. That's what their plan is. As far as India is concerned, a string of pearls is something that we are very careful of. So name of this port is important for you. So I will leave it for you guys. Make sure you pass your answer in the comment section of this video. Now the thing is, let me take you through some history of this whole case of this Rakhine or this Rohingya people. Right, Muslims and Hindus, or in general Rohingya people who are living in this Rakhine state. Back in 1982, when Myanmar was ruled by army at that point of time, they came out with a law called Burmese Citizenship Law. And as per this BCL, right, 8 ethnic communities were stripped of their citizenship. So since then, Rohingya people are not recognized as legal citizens of Myanmar. And since then, we have seen that they have to go to many different parts of the world. Some of them are living in Saudi Arabia, some of them are living in parts of Indonesia, Malaysia. Somewhere around 40k Rohingyas are living in India at present. They are refugees, and somewhere around 11 lakh people are living in highly populated as well as densely populated country of the world, that is Bangladesh. As far as India is concerned, we have not done enough to sort out this issue. China is playing a very active role as a sort of intermediary when it comes to these issues going on between Myanmar and Bangladesh. Moving on to another item, you know that depression is a non-communicable disease. Apart from that, it is expanding, it is growing rapidly in different parts of the world. This year's World Health Day's theme was based on depression as well. And the sad thing is that we all know that of course there are things that you can do to stay away from depression, But once you get it, it's very difficult to find out that you are going through depression. But once someone finds out that you are going through depression, then the best thing, right, one of the most important thing to do is to seek medical help, because severe form of depression may lead to suicides as well. But sadly, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare's latest poster that you can see on your screen, it is not talking anything about this medical help, and this has been rejected by Indian Psychiatric Society, and I think we will find editorials and articles on this topic. Good news for India, bad news for Pakistan. Pakistan has been kept in this grey list again. Earlier on, it was under this grey list between 2012 and 15. And one important point, apart from what we have discussed so far on this FATF and grey list, is that once you become part of this grey list, or once your country becomes part of this grey list, it becomes very difficult for you to get some finance, or for you to borrow money from International Monetary Fund or other international donors. Moving on to another item, dear friends, Mr. Modi had a meeting with Niti Aayog, and this meeting was predominantly focused on islands, Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep Island, and it was about holistic development of these islands that we have. When I say holistic development, it means to say that key infrastructure projects, digital connectivity, green energy, desalinization plant, waste management, promotion of fisheries, and of course promoting tourism. Prime Minister talked about green or solar energy as far as energy production is concerned. He also talked about connecting this Andaman and Nicobar Island with the South Asian countries, and as far as Lakshadweep is concerned, he talked about promoting Lakshadweep tuna. Tuna is a fish, so he talked about this, promoting Lakshadweep tuna as a brand around the world, so that people or fishermen of this Lakshadweep they make something out of this brand. Apart from that, sad news as far as environment is concerned. Greenness in India's forest has been decreasing, which is a sad thing. Scientists from National Remote Sensing Center, that is located in Hyderabad, they analyzed NASA's Modi's satellites. When I say Modi, I'm not saying anything. It has nothing to do with Prime Minister Modi. It is the name of this satellite, right? MODIS. So they analyzed data provided by this satellite of NASA, and they came to a conclusion that if we observe moist deciduous forests of Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, if we go through this wet evergreen forest of this Western Ghats and Eastern Himalayas, and mangrove forest of West Bengal and of course Bangladesh, and then you have this wet evergreen forest of Manipur, Tamil Nadu, Mizoram, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. I beg your pardon, I have mixed it up a little bit. Again, let me try again. Sorry about that. You have this wet and west, two terms or two this words, so this is the reason. Anyways, wet evergreen forest, or you can say evergreen forest, that we find in predominantly northeastern part of our country. In entire Western Ghat, starting from tip of Gujarat to Tamil Nadu, you have 6 different states that fall under this Western Ghat, and parts of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So greenery is decreasing in this wet evergreen forest, and when we talk about this montane high elevation wet forest that you find in Mizoram, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh, right, their greenery is deteriorating as well. And one of the main reasons is climate change, impact of human activities, change in monsoon pattern. All these reasons are playing behind this thing. Last item, which is very interesting, coming from Madagascar. This is a small island country. It's part of African continent. Mozambique Channel is dividing this Mozambique country and Madagascar from each other. You find this Seychelles, you find this Mauritius around this Reunion Island. They are not far from this island called Madagascar that you find in Indian Ocean, and you find lemurs in Madagascar. Now this lemurs, right, they have a very, you can say, unique way of judging the mindset of other lemurs. They secrete or release this body odor, and based on analyzing this body odor, they can find out whether a lemur is happy or afraid or confident, or whether is ready for mate or other things. So this is a very interesting thing, and do spend some time after lemurs. When I say spend some time, do a bit of research on lemurs. Where do you find them? This is again a sort of question for you guys. I'm living here. These are your answers. These are your 2 new questions, and enjoy your Sunday, dear friends. I will see you all tomorrow. God bless you all. Jai Hind.